Hi everyone. Hopefully this works this time. I wanted to drop by and leave a quick message while I'm grading to let you know of something I saw that I want to kind of talk to you about. I know this is not the first time you've been taking literature classes. In fact, for any of you, this is not your first one. But I still believe going over thesis writing can be beneficial. From some of the papers I've graded so far, I've noticed a slight issue. Is it terrible? No, but you want to create the strongest thesis statements that you can. And to do that, we often have to figure out the best formula, so to speak. So I want to talk to you briefly about a formula for writing a thesis statement that is very effective. Remember, first of all, that a thesis statement is an argument. First and foremost, it is an argument, which means if I say the sky is blue and the sky is actually blue and you cannot argue with me, I have no thesis. I have no argument. The same thing goes for in relation to the Hunger Games. If I say survival is a theme of this novel, no one would disagree with me. It might not be the most important theme to some people, and we might disagree with how survival is portrayed within the novel or what it means, but just saying survival alone is a theme is not an argument. So this is what I'm getting at. A good thesis statement has two main parts. The first part is the what. What are we talking about? So for the example I'm going to create, I'm talking about public personas versus authentic selves, which is something we've been talking about in class, but something I find particularly interesting about this novel. And I also find which is interesting is what Suzanne Collins says about these. So this is my what. Basically, it's what am I going to talk about in the novel? What are you going to read about in my paper? All right, my what. But so far, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just letting you know that I'm interested in authentic selves versus public selves in the novel. It is my job then to come up with what I'm arguing. Now, Suzanne Collins and most authors out there did not sit down with an agenda. Basically, they did not sit down saying they want to talk about this particular aspect of authentic selves. Some of them might, and some of them might have a clear idea of what they're going to say. For instance, Philip Pullman in his novels, The Golden Compass, if you've read The Golden Compass or seen the movie, his Dark Materials is the name of the trilogy. He is very much critiquing C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia and very much saying that the church is problematic in our world. And he's very much arguing about secular humanism. He has been very clear that those were his goals with this novel, with this set of novels, actually. He sat down with a very defined purpose. A lot of authors don't. Why? Because they come down and they want to tell a story. They want to highlight some grand truth, but they don't know exactly how it's going to come out or be portrayed. So Suzanne Collins did not sit down and say, this is what I am writing about. Her environment informed what she's writing about. The political climate informed what she's writing about. Identity is very important, especially as we're in a post 9/11 world, especially as she's dealing with young adults, right? Identity is a big issue. So she sat down with these ideas and probably a bunch more that she doesn't realize or that I can't think of at the moment. And then when we sat down and read the novel and we started talking about it, and you guys saw this on the discussion boards, we didn't always all agree, right? Some of us have different ideas about how she portrayed information specifically relating to personas or struggles with identity within the novel. Some of us agreed and some of us didn't. Why? Because we read the same book, right? You think we'd have the same information, but we come in with our own backgrounds. My background is different than your background, which is different than someone else's background in the class, right? We come in with different backgrounds and ideas and thoughts. Okay? So my personal take on this issue might be different than yours. For instance, let's take social media. For someone who didn't grow up with social media, the way children grow up with social media today, identity is very different. A lot of you have either maybe told your children or heard your parents say, be careful what you put on the internet, because it can't go away. Children might not realize that, right? And their identity is now forming differently because they are living with this constant connectedness that others of us didn't have growing up. And so our identity changes there. So as you see, all these different things relate to identity. A lot of us, our religion maybe forms some of our identity, or our subgroup we participate in culturally. So all of these things are important. So now I have my what, right? Authentic self versus public self. This is what I want to talk about. Now I need the so what, or the argument. What am I saying about that? How do we figure out what we're saying? It's pretty much what we took away about this theme. What do I think Suzanne Collins is saying about personal public selves versus authentic selves? Okay. Now, I can't just pull something out of the blue. I have to be able to back it up with the text. So if the text doesn't support what I'm trying to say, I need to say something different. Okay. But in this case, my so what, or my argument, is going to be that authentic selves public selves, are essential to survival in a lot of cases. Even if they have negative consequences, they're still better to adopt sometimes. Okay? You might disagree. And a lot of you probably will, right? And that's actually good. If no one disagrees, I don't have an argument. Now, with this particular paper, we also have to link it to popularity. We don't just want to talk about how the book is popular. Well, there's a theme of identity, so the book is popular with teens. Well, that's true. But what about what is being said makes it popular? So to strengthen my thesis statement some more, I could say, in The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins discusses public selves as in relation to authentic selves, arguing that public selves are essential even if they have negative consequences, which appeals greatly to the youth of today as social media rules their lives. You might disagree. Could the thesis statement be stronger? Sure, every thesis statement is working. As you develop a paper, your thesis statement might change, and a lot of times it will change, which is good. But I have now incorporated all three aspects of the prompt into my thesis statement: the popularity, the what, and the so what. Okay? As you write, you want to focus on the so what. The what isn't enough. For instance, as you work on your milestone, you're comparing two novels. So let's say I'm interested in media, and I'm going to compare media in The Hunger Games to media in Gone Girl, because they both have interesting displays of media. My what is the media in Gone Girl and the media in The Hunger Games. That's great. You would say, of course, I read it both in both those books, it's there. Now I have to talk about what they're doing. Are they saying the same thing? Are they arguing something different? What are they arguing? So I might say something along the lines of, within Gone Girl and The Hunger Games, media is portrayed as very damaging to a person. It can be easily swayed, and it has a lot of weight, as we see with Caesar Flickerman and sponsors, as well as the talk show host who vilifies Nick Dunn. I've compared them. I said, hey, look, these are both important. They say a lot of the same things. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing up the milestone one is because you're currently working on it. Paper one has already been submitted. So your thesis is what it is, which is fine. Like I said, the ones I've read are not bad. They could be stronger, some of them, but you know what? Everything can be stronger. Nothing's perfect. We're human. But I want you to focus now going forward. So what does your thesis statement mean for this new paper? It means exactly that. It means writing a strong thesis statement. Now, it will be a working thesis, and I know a lot of you have not read both books, and that's okay. So your thesis statement will be extremely broad right now, or it might focus mostly on one of the books instead of both of the books. And that's okay, because it's working. It will change. But keep this in mind. You have the what are you talking about, and then what are you saying about it? What are you arguing about it? Okay? I am still grading papers. I will be getting done with them hopefully tomorrow. If you haven't turned it in yet, please turn it in. There will be a late penalty, but it's better to have that than a 0, I promise. Okay? Also, if you turn it in, you can find out how you can make it better, which is the goal of writing, right? Writing should increase and get better as we go. So please make sure you do that. I am grading from bottom up. So what I'm doing is I'm grading from last name Z to last name A. Every week I alternate from just because it keeps it fair when people get them back. Otherwise, people in the A's always get theirs back on Mondays, and the people in the C's always get theirs back on Wednesdays, and I don't know. This just doesn't seem fair. So as I'm grading, I will also give you another video at the end of the week when I'm done grading with more information about general things you guys did awesomely and things that I think could be improved. Again, that doesn't mean they were bad. It means things that could just be stronger and things I want you to work on. I do leave comments on your paper. Please read those. They're usually thorough and they're related specifically to you. So if you rely on just the video I send you at the end of the week, you're not going to know what your specific strengths and weaknesses are. So please focus on what I write on the rubric and on the paper. Okay? If you have any questions about your paper or the milestone one, please email me. We could set up a meeting on Skype. We could set up a phone meeting. We can email back and forth. Whatever works for you. The sooner I know you want to talk, the better our conversation can be. So enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're watching the debate, have fun. If you're not, have fun doing whatever else it is. Have a good rest of your week. Please remember to start posting on the boards. Remember, initial posts need to be done by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure you get that done. And I look forward to reading the rest of your papers. They've been a joy to read so far. Bye.